I got a question for you. When you guys get paid, are you taking your money and manually putting it into a savings account and then transferring over into like your emergency savings fund and then manually going to your investment accounts and manually picking investments and then manually, when you get a dividend, putting that money back into that stock? Are you doing that? Well, if so, you need to watch this video because you're not doing what the rest of the smart money automatic millionaires are doing with their dollars. They are automating literally everything. And this video is going to outline how I think you can automate key 5 areas of your financial life. So let's dive in. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, Kenny Finance, where we talk about nothing but smart money moves. And if you are new to the channel, I am your host, Kenny, the absolute finance nerd that loves talking about managing your money, saving your dollars, investing better, and building yourself wealth. We are glad that you're here, and do yourself the greatest favor and subscribing to the community because we do nothing but talk about this kind of stuff all day, every day. But today's focus is automation, and I'll show you guys exactly what we're going to run through in this exact video. And for today's agenda, we are talking about 5 essential things. 1, how to automate your earning. 2, how to automate your spending. 3, how to automate your budgeting. And then 4, we're going to talk about how to automatically save your dollars. But then lastly, number 5, this is what 95% of people get wrong, is how to automatically invest and reinvest their dollars. So you don't want to miss that point and stay towards number 5. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Number 1, automating your earnings. Now, automating your earnings, there's like one fundamental key thing you need to do. Put your paycheck on direct deposit. If you are working hours and waiting on a physical check to come into the mail, you're missing out on days to weeks of potential investment returns, strategic moves with your dollars, etc. So the first thing I need you to do is automatically have your dollars deposited into your saving or your checkings account, because that is going to be the basis that we have to automate the rest of our entire financial system that I'm going to talk about in steps 3, 4, and 5. And also, some people don't really know this, but you can do direct deposit splits, meaning portion of your check goes towards your savings account or a portion of your check goes to your checkings account, whatever works for you. But the key thing is, when you work and you're getting paid from your job, set that to direct deposit. Now next, how can you automate earning more money? What I need you to do is find out if you have a really good high skill set that is differentiated from others and use that to build yourself an incredible passive income stream. And then what you do is you can hire a team or you can leverage AI to start automating some of those workflows so that you can start printing dollars while you sleep and on weekends. Now, this is not focused on passive income. I got a bunch of videos on that. But this video here is showing the importance of automating that workflow so you can automate more dollars coming into your life. Now let's focus back on this baseline direct deposit. Now when you have your direct deposit put into your checking or savings account, that savings account is typically where a lot of the bills are going to be paid. Your rent, your credit card bills, etc. And what we want to do is enable auto pay on all of our essential bills that are recurring. This has a bunch of perks. The first perk is that you avoid late fees. You never want to run into a situation where you forget to pay your paycheck because you were busy or you were traveling, etc. Always set your bills that are recurring monthly to auto pay. And it's very easy to do. Let me split it across 2 categories. If you're thinking about housing, you can go to your mortgage company or your apartment building and rental portal, and you can enable and click a button that says auto pay. I think 99% of those platforms have it. Now, how do I take care of my daily spending and covering some of my essentials? So for that, I use for my food, my groceries, my car, electricity, other utility bills, etc. I pay all of that using one credit card. Now, that one credit card gives me a statement balance and a bill, and what comes out of my baseline fundamental savings or checkings account is only a payment to pay off the credit card. So that way, when I look at my bank statement, I don't have a million different purchases to shuffle through. Instead, I have one credit card payment, and then when I go to my credit card portal, I can then see where I'm allocating my spending across different buckets like food, dining, going out, gym, movies, etc. But to streamline and make it very easy and automated, I auto pay my credit card bill using my bank account, okay? That's the first leg of the step. And then also, if you use a credit card, you're giving yourself extra dollars because oftentimes you can enable points and rewards by using your credit card to pay for certain categories. And for me, I have an Amex Gold where whenever I go out and I dine out, I get 4 times points on my purchases as related to food or groceries. And that kind of gives me a little bit of more perks that I can use for travel or other redemption areas down the road. So that's really how I automate it. So I get perks as well as stay on top of one key payment, which is just that credit card bill. Now, when you're looking at your credit card bill, a lot of the platforms, especially mine, American Express, will kind of give you a breakdown of the categories of where you are spending those dollars. Now, what I like to do is I like to have that category breakdown as well as all the expenses downloaded and put into my budget tracker. And that leads us into number 3 of how to auto budget your dollars. Now, when it comes to budgeting, look, you just got to budget, all right? Budgeting is essential because it gives you the framework and the boundaries of how to do the right thing with your dollars. If you are literally just like freeballing your money and what comes into your life, you have no clue about where it goes, you're kind of screwing yourself over when it comes to long-term wealth building, all right? You need to develop the discipline and the habits to understand that I can only spend a certain amount in a certain category this particular month because it is my budget. You need to stick to that. And if you do that, you can guarantee that you are spending reasonably, as well as saving and investing appropriately to build long-term wealth. And for me, I love to follow the 50-30-20 rule when it comes to budgeting. Now, let me break this down to you very simply. 50% of your dollars that come into your life from your paycheck and other passive income streams should be spent towards your needs. These include things like rent, mortgage, utilities, healthcare bills, food, anything that you need to live your daily life. Next is 30%. 30% of your income should be spent towards your wants. This is dining out, going to the gym, hanging out with friends, going to movies, etc. These are things that are non-essential but help you have still a quality, enjoyable life. Now, 20% is my favorite piece of the rule. This says that you should be having 20% of your income used towards saving and investing. These include things like building a 3 to 6 month emergency savings fund. It also includes things like investing in index funds, your retirement savings, all that kind of jazz. And what you need to do is have 20% allocated towards that. Now, if you're anyone like me, I like to spice it up a little bit and actually switch the 20 and the 30. So I have 50% of my income towards my needs, 30% towards saving and investing, and then 20% towards my wants. But if you're a little basic, you can do just regular 50-30-20. But all the smart money savages, we do 50-30-20, but 30% is towards saving and investing. Now to my budget tracker. And this is the cool AI-enabled automation tracking system that I have here. So what I like to do is every single month, American Express sends me a statement of where I've been spending on my credit card across different categories. And I automatically have that statement uploaded into Zapier, which then sends it into my 50-30-20 tracker. And what it does is it populates my bill tracker and it shows where I'm spending my dollars across different categories. And then on the dashboard, it gives me a snapshot of how I'm currently doing against my 50-30-20 budget objectives to see if I am above my budget or below my budget when it comes to spending on certain categories. But then also it gives me sort of a trend line to see how am I doing above or below budget over the long term. Meaning, am I consistently beating my budget in terms of spending less than I actually want to, or am I consistently spending a little bit more above average? And if so, where are those categories that are hurting me long term? And this is a great thing that I can simply see at the end of every single month and just track whether or not I'm hitting my financial targets when it comes to budgeting. And this tool has literally saved my financial life as well as countless others of my friends. And if you guys want access to this free 50-30-20 budget template, make sure you guys check out the link below where you can download and have access to it to use for your everyday expenses and budgeting needs. And of course, for budgeting, there are other apps like Mint or Rocket Money that automatically link to your bank account or your credit card that does all of this for you. But my view is you need a little bit more of at least an eyes-on approach to your budgeting. And sometimes when you have an app and it's automatically sort of doing everything in the background, you're not as diligent when it comes to where your money is going. This way, a lot of the admin is automated on the template tracker as well as my credit card statements. But what I get to do is I get to visibly see where I'm spending my dollars and how disciplined I am on a month-by-month basis. So that's why I like to use this budget tracker. Now, moving on to number 4, auto saving. Now, auto saving is crucially important because before you can have $1 million investment portfolio and a great retirement plan, you need to at least have the foundational savings to take care of your emergency expenses as well as saving for some of your life goals like buying a house, going on vacation, etc. So having a strong savings foundation is crucially important. And what I like to do is I like to have a high yield savings account. These are savings accounts that have a yield or an interest rate that is a bit higher from a regular checkings account. And if you look at like your Chase checking account, odds are you probably have a 0.001% interest rate. Now, a high yield savings interest rate is not crazy high, but at least it's like a 2, 3, 4% interest rate, which is a lot better than your money sitting in a checkings account. And the other good thing is it's also liquid, meaning that if you need to withdraw it and have access to it to pay for a house or an emergency or anything like that, you can access your dollars within a day. And the good thing about some of these high yield savings accounts is that they have the ability to enable automatic deposits, meaning from our foundational account, our regular checking or savings that our check went into, there is an option to automatically send dollars to a high yield savings account every single day, every single month, every single paycheck, whatever that may be, so that we can automatically allocate dollars towards the savings account. And make sure before you do any of these other smart financial moves that you have 3 to 6 months of emergency expenses saved up for housing or car or food or utilities, have that secured before you do any of this other stuff. And you can easily do that by setting a automatic deposit so you can hit those targets within a set time frame, okay? Set an automatic deposit for your savings. Now let's talk about how we can automatically build generational wealth on autopilot using Auto Invest. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could automatically take dollars from your bank account, putting it into an investment account, and once it's in an investment account, automatically buy a certain stock that you wanted to buy or an index fund every single paycheck so that you don't have to worry about anything. You can benefit from dollar cost averaging. Well, the good thing is that actually exists, and that's called automatic recurring investments. And this is beautiful because what I like to do is I like to tell people to, if you want to build wealth, invest in an index fund, invest it regularly, and never touch it. Now, the first two things, it's kind of hard to do if you don't have the discipline to do it every single paycheck. What you can do is on a platform like Robinhood, which allows for you to go and purchase stocks and index funds, they typically in the settings have an option for you to automatically, one, deposit funds into your Robinhood account, but then two, also it takes it a step further and gives you the option to enable automatic recurring investments into particular securities. Meaning, say, for example, I like the SPY index fund, and every single paycheck, I want to put $100 into the SPY. There is an option on Robinhood for me to, every single 2 weeks when I get paid, take $100 from my foundational bank account and put it into Robinhood and automatically purchase SPY. And that's amazing because it takes my wealth building habit of investing into the stock market and supercharges it and automates it. So make sure you guys go onto your investment account. I use Robinhood, and that's where I found that option. But other platforms like Webull and Betterment also have a similar option as well. But make sure that you enable automatic recurring investments. And investing in an index fund is also one of the best ways to invest because you are automatically diversified, meaning that you have exposure to 500 different companies in the S&P 500, which allows for you to be diversified and investing for the long term. And if you add those two up, you get generational wealth over the long term. And I'm telling you, with the SPY, which has generated a 10.5% plus return over the last 30 years, if you put $500 every single month into that for the next 30 years, you are going to be a millionaire. I'm telling you now. And if you're not, come back to this video and comment and let me know why you didn't become a millionaire. It's probably because you sold. And then to take it to another degree when it comes to automatically investing is dividends. Now, dividends typically come every quarter from companies that issue a dividend per share. Now, typically dividends come and it is deposited into cash into your brokerage account. But what you can do, since we're on the topic of automation, is that you can enable automatic dividend reinvestment, meaning when you get a dividend from a company, that dividend is used to automatically buy incrementally more shares of the company that issued you dividends, meaning that the amount of shares that you own in this company is growing not just from you purchasing regularly, but then also the dividends you receive from that company as a perk of being a part owner is being used to reinvest and purchase more shares. So if you combine those two, Skippy, you might be a multi-millionaire if you do that over 30 years. And you can also do this automatic investing and depositing and recurring investments in your 401k account, in your HSA account, which is your healthcare savings account, if you're looking to have a tax advantage healthcare account, but other accounts as well. So every single investment account, odds are, has an option that allows for you to at least auto deposit into it so that you can have access to funds to invest. But most of them have an automatic recurring investment. So make sure you enable that because it takes the thought process out of picking a company and putting dollars to work. It eliminates that entire thought step. So allow for yourself to automatically put dollars into the market and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride of building generational wealth. It's that easy. All right, and I hear a bunch of common excuses as to why people don't automate their money. One of them being, oh, I don't have enough money to automate. Look, these things will allow for you to automatically invest, automatically deposit $1 into these different systems for you to save, budget, and invest and buy securities. All right, so don't give me an excuse that you don't have enough money to get started. Just like you need to hit that like button if you are finding this content useful to help you understand different automation frameworks when it comes to your dollars. And then the second most ridiculous excuse is that people like to say, I don't like automation. I want control of my money. Think about this for a second. When you go into the doctor's office, do you tell the doctor, I want to have control of every little thing that you're doing with my body? Right? You're not really a medical expert. Okay. Well, last time I checked, I don't think you're a financial expert as well. So leave it to the financial tools and the resources and the systems to allow for you to make expert decisions and expert moves when it comes to your money. Okay. So automate everything as you feasibly can because look, it doesn't hurt you to automatically set up your dollars for success. Think about it. And I want you to understand one key thing. The rich and wealthy do not manually move their money every single paycheck. They just don't do it. It is systems that they have in place to automatically put dollars to work, and it has been working for the last 10, 20, 30 years of their financial lives, and that is why they're generating significant wealth. Now that we talked about automatically investing, let's talk about which accounts you need to be opening to enable this process of putting your dollars to work automatically for you. And for me personally, I use these 3 investment apps for my entire investment life. And the good thing is they all have an auto deposit as well as automatic reinvestment option for a lot of my index funds and my stocks. And I unpack each of these 3 investment accounts, how I use them and why I love them in this next video. And give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go grab a quick drink of water and then I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.